Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to make this video to talk about my own conversion to Islam because before I converted to Islam, I found it so much easier to see other women's stories who had converted. So, this is mine. I was raised in a Christian home. In saying that, we didn't really go to church as a family because my mother was Catholic and my father was another faith. But in saying that, I was always taught to believe in God and that Jesus is the Son of God. So I went to church, but I was taken by a friend of the family. So always, that was what I'd grown up to believe. When I was a teenager, I especially enjoyed going to church. I was really involved in it, but even that didn't stop me from living a bad life. I still had boyfriends. I still tried alcohol. I still tried to smoke. There were all these things in my life. And when I was 16, I met a man who I really thought I fell in love with, and I got pregnant to him and had my first child at 17. So I was so unhappy. And for a few years I just led that kind of life. At that stage I'd stopped drinking and I was at university and I was focusing on my life with my daughter, and I was leading what most people would call a good life, but I was still unhappy. So when I got to 21, I started attending a church, like a Christian thing, to learn more about the Christian faith. And that was great, and I really loved it, and I became a Christian. And that was my life for the next 5 years up to now. And I loved God, but always in the back of my mind, I truly wondered. I had questions such as, if Jesus is God, why does he pray to God? Because to me, that just never made sense. And when I asked ministers and things, they said, well, you just got to have faith. For my kind of personality, that just wasn't enough. I needed more than that. And I always found things like speaking in tongues. It was weird. I just never got it. I never truly understood it. And so from then I always had these questions. And kind of, the years went by, and then a whole lot of bad things happened in my life. And I was so depressed, and I always believed in God. Nothing that happened to me ever made me not believe in God. But I started to wonder if I had made God angry, because just so many bad things kept happening, one after the other after the other. And I was trying so hard to be a good Christian, but I was so depressed. I was on sleeping pills and huge amounts of antidepressants and all these things. So that's when I then started to investigate more into Islam and the things of Islam. Before that, I'd always thought, and I'd learned in church, Islamic women are so oppressed. It's so bad. They're terrorists. They're all these things. They don't know God. And the more I investigated into it, the more I just believed that's not true. Like, I read all these books about Islam, and I started to realize actually how many rights women do have compared to in the Bible, for example. So it was just amazing. And I mean, that's what Islam means. Islam means peace. And as soon as I converted to Islam, the story kind of happened where I did a lot of research into it. I brought a copy of the Quran in English. I started reading more. Then I had questions, so I rang the mosque, and the imam said to me, look, come over, come talk to me. So I did, and I told him my reasons, and then I said my shahada, which is, me converting to Islam and saying that, God is one, and I believe that Muhammad is the prophet of God. And as soon as I did that, I felt this amazing amount of peace that I'd never felt as a Christian. Now, I had already said to you previously, I had really bad sleeping problems. I slept maybe 2 hours a night, and I was on huge sleeping pills. The day I became a Muslim, that all ended. From that moment on, I slept perfectly every night. Every night. I just felt so much peace. I used to worry about everything. Will I ever get married to a good man? Will this happen? Will this happen? Now I don't need to worry about anything, because I know that to worry is not to trust in Allah. It's just not to trust in God. And so the moment that happened, just this peace came over me, and now I don't need to worry. I don't need to worry, because I know that God is going to take care of everything for me. He truly is. There was never that peace in Christianity for me. I knew God was there, but I could never have guaranteed that, I just never had the peace. I never had that amazing peace that I found in Islam. There was stuff for me that was hard, like wearing the hijab, covering my hair. But in saying that, I used to go out and all these men would look at me kind of sleazy ways, and I hated it. It was disgusting. They'd look at me like I was a piece of meat. And that's all I was, That's all I was to them. And, I would wear short skirts and these clothes, even when I was a Christian. I mean, not really bad ones, but you could still see my legs and stuff, and men would stare, and it was sick. And I thought, is this what I want to teach my daughter? That your worth is in what you look like, how expensive your clothes are. And when I started wearing the hijab, men started treating me differently. Now they're treating me with respect. Even Western men treating me with respect. They don't look at me like that anymore. They treat me with respect, like I'm a proper woman, not just something to be stared at. My worth is more than what I look like now. My worth is in my personality and my heart. It's not what clothes I wear. It's not what colour my hair is. It's for me. And that is huge freedom. People say that Islam is oppressing because it forces women to cover up. It doesn't. It gives you back your freedom. It gives you back your life, and it gives you back your worth. And that's completely what I found in Islam. And even for my daughter, I can see so much differences in her. My daughter has just turned 9, and she has so much self-respect for herself now. She has this unbelievable faith in God that He's always going to be there. And I thank Islam for that. I thank Islam for giving me back my life, giving me back my trust. So it's just been it's been the easiest conversion to me. People say that it was going to be hard, and it was. I lost friends. My family didn't understand. But in the end, it was just so worth it. And I thank Allah for giving me this gift. And I just want to say to anyone else, any other woman considering Islam, you might lose some things, but it's nothing compared to what you'll get. You might have to make a few sacrifices, but it's nothing compared to the amazing life that God will give you, that Allah will give you. So it's just, I could talk about this for hours, but I won't. I wanted to just tell my story so that other women thinking of converting to Islam could just see the change and transformation in my life. I now have so much patience. It's so easy to be patient with people. I don't lose my temper anymore. I forgive so easily. I'm just happy all the time. Circumstances in my life might change, but I know that Allah is there, and He's always going to take care of me, and I'm protected. So it might seem like a hard thing to do in the Western world to convert when there's not many Western converts. But it is so worth it. And I swear to you, if you just take the time to look into Islam, if you just take the time to read the Quran, then you will discover the truth that God has for your life. So I just want to say thank you for listening to me, and I pray in my heart that you'll be able to accept Allah like I have.